Did somebody holler, ow?
No.
I think I heard somebody, ow.
That was probably me.
Yeah, what happened this morning? It's causing you pain and agony all of a sudden.
Well, I
I
hang
came
it
in.
up. All I do is turn it off and hang it up every night. But when I put it on in the morning, I have to adjust it a little bit.
Are you talking about an undergarment or what are you talking
We're
about?
talking about the headphones, folks. And sometimes all I do is adjust it one slight
Sometimes
notch.
you gotta ask. You know, it sounds like she's saying so. Who knows?
Here we go.
And then the races were off and running. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
And I'm Lee Barrows. Yeah.
It was hot. It was just hot. It's going to be hot again today.
Yeah.
It's already pretty warm out. How hot is it?
Well, it's supposed
Remember
to
the
reach,
old Carson days?
yeah.
How hot is it?
How hot is it?
I decided to take a look. One man reported seeing a fire hydrant flagging down a passing dog. It was so hot.
What?
One
I got
man
One man.
saw
A
a
dog.
fire hydrant
Oh,
and he started flagging, and the fire hydrant was flagging down
Okay,
a
I
passing
get it.
dog.
I just,
Got it?
I wasn't engaged yet.
You-
Yeah,
you-
that's
Are you
funny.
engaged for the number two? How hot is it? A free-range chicken laid an omelet.
Oh my gosh.
Can you have one? Can you handle one more?
One more. Yeah.
Word is that Satan is now wearing shorts and a tube top. I don't know. I love the old Carson days. How hot is it? How cold? How whatever
Yeah,
is it?
he was one of a kind. We used to
He
crack
was the
eggs
guy.
on the hood of the mail trucks to see how long it would take to cook 'em.
You were probably one of those in Northwoods that used to throw eggs at houses, aren't you?
I
Huh,
never
were
did
you?
that. I have
Did you
never
ever?
done that. I would never do that.
It was.
That's just mean.
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
You know what's meaner?
What's
Toilet
that?
paper.
No.
No?
One of them named Sisk.
Yeah, I
D.D.
remember him.
Clarence
Yes.
T. Sisk.
Yes. I remember the name.
Cigar Sisk. He chewed cigars a lot.
Oh.
On Halloween, he and some other young man were driving around Northwoods just looking for these people, because they drive an unmarked car,
Mhm.
and looking for these individuals. And there's a group of them standing there. He gets out. Two of us had nightsticks like that one. He said, "Boys, what you got in your pockets?" Tap.
And you know, there's nothing.
Eggs that break inside the pocket is just hard to deal with.
Oh,
Our boys need to be going home now. You hear?
and those eggs are nasty when they break on you.
Oh,
You ever drop one on the kitchen floor while
Yeah.
you're cooking and then try to get it up?
I just get a blowtorch, heat it up, and
Just call the dogs in.
you got scrambled
Eggs are
eggs that
good
way,
for
or
'em.
fried egg that way. Put it on the table and go. They won't know the difference. I'm not going to eat it, but nobody else knows the difference.
No 3
I've never
second
done
rule
that.
there. Yeah, right.
I've never done that.
You never.
High in Jacksonville yesterday, 98 degrees, but with almost no wind and 98% humidity. It felt like 108 plus.
Mhm.
Got overheated yesterday, too. Right now, here at the studios, live and local, it's 75 degrees and 99% humidity. No rain or snow overnight. From the live and local Onslow Amateur Radio Weather Spotters, Joe, our friend there in Swansboro, it was 79 degrees. Randy in Southwest, it was 76 degrees. Lee out there in Back Swamp, the other Lee.
Otherly.
Well, you're going to be Lady Blue when you get your ticket,
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to go
And,
back to that. Yeah.
Lee is going to be Lee in Back
He can
Swamp.
be Lee.
It could be Lee in Back Swamp.
I get confused just listening when y'all say Lee, and I'm like, what?
You talk to the radio?
Talking to the
Uh-huh.
radio.
Dale up here in the River Bend area along Highway 258, 77 degrees, no rainfall in the area. If you'd like to listen to the local hams in the morning or at any other time, because some of the repeaters stay fairly active, you don't need those scanners today that can do almost anything. The $600, $800, $1,000 scanners.
Mhm.
One of the old analog scanners you've likely got stuck in a closet somewhere that won't work for local public service agencies like law enforcement, fire departments, EMS, and that kind of stuff anymore, because they got devices on there that change frequencies. Then they got all trunking and other things that are happening. Make it really tough to listen to them.
Yes,
It's going to
does.
get tougher, y'all. One of the main repeater channels used by the local hams, including our morning informal around the county temperature session, is 147.000 megahertz. Easily understood. You can pick it up from any scanner. No special tones, no codes required. It's an open channel. If you get into it and you would like some other channels of interest, let us know and we'll be happy to share so you can listen to a bunch of local repeaters. If you've ever thought of getting in on the amateur radio action, you're certainly welcome to meet members of the club, the Onslow Amateur Radio Club, on the first Saturday of each month. That will be coming up this Saturday. We'll meet this week at the Golden Corral here in Jacksonville. If you want breakfast, Dutch Street, of course, come a little early, find out what it takes to get a ham license and get in on the action. It's going to be at the Golden Corral. Meeting time is 9 o'clock. Those of us who like to eat, we get there about 8.
That would be me.
And there are, I'll tell you something, it's tough to, I can eat the breakfast. That's
breakfast
cool.
buffet?
But then they've got over here on that dessert,
Oh yeah.
they've got blueberry pie. And over here on the, right down on the way back to my seat, there is a thing there called the ice cream vendor.
Yes.
And you push that little button that says vanilla, and it just comes oozing out on top of that blueberry pie. Son, don't get between me and that.
Do they have the bread pudding that early in the morning?
I think I'll look over there at that.
Oh, it should be right next to the blueberry.
I've got tunnel vision.
Oh,
I zero in on what I want, and
When
what
they-
I want is the blueberry pie.
when they bring out that bread pudding hot. Oh,
Okay. Well,
so good.
anywho, the meeting starts at 9 o'clock. Food's at 8. And so if you want to, just come in and meet some people and see if there's something you may want to do. You have a bunch of I was going to say ancient, but I got to find another experienced, trained, been around for a while, amateur radio operators, and you're going to find if you don't think that you're up to it, look for Zoe. She's about 4 feet 9 inches tall.
Don't be rubbing it in.
She's 14 years of age. She's got her license, and she's studying for a higher class license now.
Way to go, Zoe.
Zoe's cool.
Yeah, she is. She's
She told
very
me-
smart
Her
child.
mama told me I was her BFF.
Oh,
I don't know what that means, but
Best
Best
friend
friend
forever.
oh, that's cool. I like that. All right, I'll take that.
Catch up.
do you have an assignment tomorrow? Have we figured that out yet about the radio?
I
weather
did.
radio?
I do figured it out.
What
Is it
did
tomorrow
Lee
or
say?
next
What did Lee say?
Well, the
August 6th.
The other Lee said it's August 6th. This Lee here said it was tomorrow, and I said
I
it's,
did not.
I said it's
I
August
said
6th.
August.
I said it's next week.
Don't be flipping this
It's
around.
going to be next Wednesday,
Okay.
a week from tomorrow. It's going to be beginning at 11 a.m., 1100 hours through 1830. That's
18:30.
6:30.
That's
6:30.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
He's gonna be
I remember what time it was, but couldn't remember exactly. Yeah, 6:30 in the p.m. And it's going to be at the
Ace
Ace
Hardware.
Hardware.
Ace Hardware store, and that's going to be there are 2 of them. There's going to be at the Ace Hardware store in right across from the high school.
Jacksonville, across from the high school.
Henderson Drive.
Henderson Drive.
Uh-huh. Henderson and Gum Branch Road area.
That's right.
There's a little shopping,
There's a
thing
shopping
there.
plaza there, yes.
and I haven't been in that store. I just don't go by there.
Oh, it's a
anymore.
nice store. I
I'm
told you they
going.
have
I'm
free
going. When I get
popcorn,
out there
Rayford.
next,
Yeah.
I know you got me on that one.
Every time they go, they want a bag of popcorn. I know.
Yep. I brought my own. I roll out a big old shopping bag. You know.
I need to go there today. Anything you need?
Bag of popcorn.
A bag of popcorn. I need to go get some concrete caulking, silicone caulk for concrete.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Tell them you're looking forward to the ham radio guys gathering.
They've gotten to know me pretty well over there when they see me come in.
Oh, because
I'm over there a lot.
you break a lot of stuff.
No, it's much easier just to go across the street to pick up something that, that I need,
Uh-huh.
like a paintbrush or like some
Do
sandpaper.
they deliver?
Or yeah, I imagine, I don't know. But they have reward points too. You earn points when you shop.
Mhm.
And so like I have points now, and then I get coupons like
Do you have
$10 off.
Do you have a special code that I can use? I mean, that you use in case you want to buy something with your reward points?
I just put in my telephone number.
I got
Hey,
you.
you did it. You did it. You got it out of her.
But
one
no.
and done. Here we come.
But the thing about it is, you have to go spend money to use it.
But
So
you've
if
already
you're
got some
using
built.
my telephone number, I'm getting points.
Well, I'm just going to use the points. I'm not going to spend anything.
You'll have to buy something to use the
Oh,
points.
is that right? All right.
That's
Fine.
right.
Well, I'll
So-
find something that I want.
You can't buy the popcorn. It's free.
Okay.
Free.
We all spent a good part of the beginning 12 hours ago.
Yes, we
Wrapped
did.
up
Mhm.
as much of the nation did. And tragic, stupid set of circumstances one more time. One additional time in New York began unfolding about 6:30 in Manhattan. In the end, 5 innocent people were killed. One of those was a police officer,
Mhm.
and the guy that did the killing, he's dead too. Shot himself. You know, these guys who do this kind of stuff are such chicken-livered. I know we can get away with saying it, but I won't. But y'all can figure out what I mean. They are cowards. They want to go out with a persona of being a hero, but being a tough guy. They're not tough.
No.
How tough is it to take something? It's kind of like some guy who's fishing going into a rain barrel full of fish and dropping food down in there that they like with a hook on top of a hook. No, that's not fishing. No. When you've got an environment like Manhattan at 6:30, as it turns out, and a guy we'll talk about the gun in a minute because the other guys up there, you had too many people describing what it was, and not sure that any of them actually knew, including one police officer retired who admitted he didn't know anything about them, but he started talking about it as though he did. But anyway, it happened. It was an AR style rifle.
Mhm.
They're calling it an M4. We'll get into that. But it was, and he walked right down the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Right down the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Got a picture of it.
With it in full view.
And a rifle's just hanging out there. He's holding it with one hand, which is kind of like the standard way of carrying one unless you're ready to shoot. Because it's got sort of a pistol grip down there at the end with the stock foldings. If it's a true M4, it's got a stock that changes. And then he opens fire. What goes into the building there? What was the address? Whatever it is. Park Place.
345.
345.
345 Park
Park
Avenue.
Park Avenue. And he encounters a police officer who's working off duty. First of all, they have off-duty cops, and they hire people like that. I'm not putting any validity into the report that he was unarmed, initial report that I heard, because I don't buy that. The reason they hire cops is because they can carry guns.
Mhm.
And the mayor up there said this dude was neutralized at the scene. No, he wasn't neutralized. He shot himself. He took the chicken-livered way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then the experts say, well, how did he do that with a rifle and shot himself in the chest? Oh, I can demonstrate it if you want, but not pulling the trigger. But yeah, happens more often than you think. Most men do not shoot themselves in the chest, by the way. Most women do. Most men shoot themselves in the head. Almost no women do. The word almost no women do, because I've got examples in both cases where people have done the exact that I had to deal with. One right down the street here. It can be done. It's like hanging yourself in a jail cell. It can be done.
Yeah.
Okay? It happens. And there are not that many ways to secure any situation. But this guy goes in, and the big deal was made out of the fact that he had a concealed carry permit. Boy, they had that up in a hurry, didn't they?
Yeah.
Out of Las Vegas. Were they on the alert for this guy? Did anybody know he was coming? Did anybody have background information on him already? I'm not hearing that. But there's something really mysterious about having the concealed carry permit popped up so
They may
quickly.
have pulled it out of his wallet. Maybe he had his ID on him. I don't know.
It's a possibility.
That's the only thing I
But
can
how
think
did they
of.
get a picture of it and distribute it to the media, mass media, that fast?
Because somebody's always taking pictures, and evidently, I mean, broad daylight, and he's carrying that rifle openly,
Well, they got
heading
that
into
one.
the building. So somebody snapped a picture, and I guess when the whole thing started, they posted it. It went crazy.
I'm
Went
not going to
viral.
say only in New York.
Because it
But-
does happen elsewhere, as we found out.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we've had the mass shootings in Las Vegas, and ironically, coincidentally, weirdly, that's where this dude was assigned to live because he had a job there at a casino working security. Then they made a
Right.
big deal. Oh, this is how he could get his concealed carry permit. This is how he owned this gun. You don't need a
Nah.
concealed carry permit to buy this gun. Okay.
The whole thing
Las
is
Vegas.
bizarre.
So they're putting two and two together, and they're coming up with 28.
The news media.
It's not just
so
not just the
bad.
media. They're taking misinformation from the police department because you
Yes.
had so many different reports coming out of too many different units at the PD. Boy, they need to get their
Well, I
hands on
told you I
control of
listened
that.
to the active scanner on it last night, Broadcastify.
On which channel?
This was
They were all operating on different channels.
Yeah, we were.
this was the channel that NYPD was on.
They use.
Well, let me
different
finish.
channels.
Let me finish. This was the main channel, and the officers were all screaming
Mhm.
and yelling, and they were picking up information from supposed witnesses on the street. So there was so much information going on, just that the news media was picking up from that. The misinformation, every single news channel last night, as we all witnessed, was giving conflicting
Yeah,
reports.
they did.
That's like, I just looked it up to see if there was any updates. And what's the first thing I see? Fox News, New York City shooting, female NYPD officer killed.
See, they left up. That's the bad thing about reading the day after news stories
Mhm.
on any local or national, international.
This was from 9 hours ago.
Yeah. Any reports that you see that have ever been posted on their website are still there. They're
Exactly.
still looking for Amelia Earhart. The last time she was seen is when she took off, and here's the latest report. She's still missing.
Okay, now they did a last update at 7:09 a.m. NYC shooting, NYPD officer killed.
Mm-hmm.
See, so they
It was
updated
amazing.
it.
It was
by the way.
at least that number, 47th precinct, that seemed to be consistent, as that's where he was assigned.
The
That's
officer.
the officer for 3.5 years.
Yep.
Two children with one on
36
the way.
years.
Yeah.
36, I think he was.
Yeah. And, that's about the only thing that was consistent. When Mayor Adams came and finally did his
Yeah,
press
of course,
conference,
we had to wait on Mayor Adams.
all these people were lined up. Rayford, you've been to these things probably. There's more men in suits.
Well, they had to go home
behind
and
them.
get their suits and make sure they had a good, clean, and press one.
Yeah.
That is a fact. I guarantee you that they had to go into their closets at the police department, into their offices or cubicles, and bring out something clean and fresh. Jeez.
All right, this is last night during all the reporting. CNN was reporting 4 dead, ABC News 3 dead, and the New York Post 5 dead.
Yeah, I had them.
See, so-
at some point in time, there were 7 dead.
Yes.
And then it will be, if they, at the time, the information that they had, misinformation they had, if they had added them all up, including the dead dude that killed himself, there would have been 7. But as it turns out, 5 innocents and 1 bad guy. And he was not neutralized. You cannot self-neutralize
himself.
yourself, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Mayor,
Right.
Mr. Mayor. Eric Adams said he was neutralized at the scene. No, he was not.
Well, I think the police commissioner didn't help either because she
is, God, has she ever worked the streets?
I don't know. You know,
She
it's
ever a cop, really? An honest student cop?
here we go. Beloved Blackstone employee was shot and killed. The
Yeah,
news
saw
flash just came on. I'm just
Well,
like,
I read a story already that because he played football in high school.
And he was white.
He played, yeah.
Yeah. CNN.
You don't want to go there, do you?
No. That one was way bizarre. I mean, unless he's got the best costume ever. But then he played some in the Canadian Football League, the NFL.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure what this had to do with it. The NFL's office is in that building, and that he was suffering from trauma because of football injuries.
Well, also, it's been
Now, that's one of the
reporting now that the people that were shot upstairs, however many, because he shot people along the way, was in the Blackstone office. And so now they're talking about nobody knows.
They don't know what if he knew anybody there.
Right.
They do. They may by now.
Yes.
They do not have a lot of information. Apparently, did not take a lot of time getting from Las Vegas to New York. 2 days driving time.
Yeah,
it can be done. I drove it in 2 days.
building.
I drove it in 2 days.
Yes.
You know, you leave at 6 o'clock in the morning and you drive until 10 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
Then he took the short jaunt from New Jersey to New York City, double parked his car.
His BMW, Chris.
A Beamer.
Yes. Double
From Las
parked.
Vegas. You got to have something.
Well, yeah. And I guess they found a pistol. But
Mhm.
again, all
They
this
found
is
a revolver, they say.
revolver,
And,
yeah.
and again, if the
Yes.
only thing he was intending to do was to find a target at one particular person, why would you advertise yourself carrying a rifle up the street? Because your
Yeah,
chances,
he didn't care.
the chances, I don't know why he didn't get challenged before he got this far as he got, walking in the middle of the street. Where can you can't do that in Jacksonville.
No.
If you do, you're going to get challenged.
I'm going to say this, and I still, for me, I've never been to New York. Don't have a desire to go to New
I
York.
can understand that. Been a couple times.
And Jordan has been there. Hannah has been there for certain things, Broadway. But I just can't imagine. I mean, if this city has so many police, they were all out right after the shooting.
Did
To walk where he
Hundreds
walked
of
from, and two, carrying a rifle, and nobody, not
Mhm.
one police officer noticed that.
Well, if there was one there, I'm sure they would have noticed it. I don't know whether he picked a time. You know, when he got there, he picked such. You know, it looks like the coast is clear. There's nobody around. Let me go now. There's a possibility he did that. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think
what went through his mind, or
being
did he just get lucky?
that he left Las Vegas and drove straight through and parked in front of that building and went inside, I think there was a reason for the building that he picked it. And of course,
Well, we can speculate, but I don't know.
Yep, I don't know either. But going back to CNN, let me tell you what, they took a lot of hate last night on social media because they posted his picture and referred to him as a white man. And it had nothing to do with the fact that he wasn't white. He was an African American, but it was just the simple, blatant error they made.
Well, I want to tell you what goes through the minds of some reporters and other individuals too. Statistically, in this country, the mass shooters are generally Caucasian. They're generally males. How often do you see a female of color or any color, including no color, being white? How often do you see them committing mass murders?
True.
Not
True.
often. All right.
Well, see, then they were
They usually do
assuming.
it very sneaky, like Velma Margie Barfield, and just poison everybody she got close to.
Yeah, it like I said, it's not the point of what race he is. It's the point that they made a blatant error and did not go back and correct it. I mean, people were just hating on CNN so bad last night.
I just
It was
just
bad.
thought that was okay. That's typical, but I don't hate anybody for that. I don't, I'm not gonna come down to them.
Oh,
for
they were
something stupid.
hating CNN.
Yeah, but
last
I mean,
night.
you think that they are accurate 50% of the time?
None of the news was accurate for a while.
Well,
Nobody knew
the
anything.
thing is, they're getting, and you don't have any clue whether whoever made that statement had seen the photo, do we?
They posted it
I
with
know
the
they
photo.
did. Do you know if that whoever wrote or made that comment had actually seen the picture?
I have no clue.
Okay,
but
you're sitting at the desk.
But
you're sitting
Rayford-
you're sitting on the anchor set, and you're sort of reading. You know how big that little monitor is that you might be seeing? About the size of your stupid telephone.
But what I'm saying is the person who gathered the picture and then sent the picture in and they posted it. I mean, wasn't it obvious that the man was not of the race that they're? It was weird. It was crazy.
It's
The
totally
whole
dumb. The whole thing was
thing.
dumb, but it's typical. It's not that unusual.
Not to check your sources. That's what was bad. So much.
We got 24 hours in a
Mhm.
day. We can check them later. Right
That's
now, we
right.
just got to get it out there.
Gather the
Gotta get it out
information,
there.
what you can that you know is factual, and wait for the rest to unfold.
Mm.
But they were in competition last night.
Oh, yep.
And all the different news medias were putting out different stories. We all talked about it.
It's ridiculous.
We were like, what? But yeah, it's going to be, I'm sure by the end of the day, they will know. They will have more of an idea of.
Oh, they got quite a bit
What?
down, no doubt about
Yes.
it. I'm sure that they do.
The one thing that really caught me off guard was the people that there's an active shooting going on because police keep pushing you back and back,
Mhm.
farther and farther. Yet you just keep standing around.
They're standing on the street corner, peeking around a building.
No.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm just-
like,
Are you
I'd
waiting for
leave.
your 15 seconds of fame or waiting to be a victim?
there's police officers out there going like, no, go that way, and they're all gathered.
You guys hearing these gunshots? I mean, I don't know about you, but when boom, 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 that we had some kind of noise the other night about 11 over this way, had about 7 or 8, 9, 10 shots that went off,
Wow.
and and I said, okay, let me close the door, get my kitty cat in because he was still outside, and then I made sure everything was secured because just in case, and I
Right.
just stayed in an area where there was a lot between me and wherever they were. Let's just put it that way. But I do because when there's gunfire, there's a bullet going to go somewhere.
Well, that's I told you that Sunday afternoon. I was in my backyard working on the fence, and back behind me, a couple streets over, gunfire, and I'm like, yeah, time to go in.
Yeah, but you just
Locked all the doors.
It's kind of hard to tell what's going to be coming down the pike here any time now. That's the way I look at it. I just find me somewhere else to go hide for a little while. Okie dokie. Let's get on up here and do a little bit of weather. Dangerous heat and humidity continues through midweek. Midweek being tomorrow-ish, with isolated to scattered afternoon and early evening showers and storms of some sort or another. A cold front will bring more widespread precipitation. That means rain this time of year. Later in the week, with cooler and more pleasant, less unpleasant conditions for the weekend. Offshore today. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet, sounds and rivers a light chop. If you're going out there, you may want to make sure you take lots of sunscreen, waterproof sunscreen, because you're going to sweat. Wednesday, easterly winds, 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet, sounds and rivers a light chop. Okay, now Thursday, the broken record continues, all right? Though there is a little slight shift in the wind, southwesterly winds 5 to 10, seas about 2 feet, sounds and rivers a light chop.
Okay, today partly sunny with a high near 93. Heat index value is as high as 105. A slight chance of rain and thunderstorms. Tonight, patchy fog early in the morning, partly cloudy with a low around 76. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 92, and heat index values as high as 102. A slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 90, and a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. So
What's the high today?
the high today is 93.
Hmm.
Let me tell you, yesterday when I left the studio, I had to run some errands, got home, and get a message on my phone saying this serviceman that I had fixing my backpack, we're on our way. And I'm like, what? No advance warning. I had to run outside and clear off my entire patio, chairs, table, grill, everything. By the time they got there, I was soaking wet. It was just the humidity was so bad, not counting the heat. But then later on in the day, I think I sent a message to Rayford. I walked out on the back patio barefoot just to run across it.
Yeah.
It like to blistered my skin.
You know, I like that post that you mentioned about the animals.
Yes.
That people, Rayford, you came on. You said, you know, yours is on the grass.
Yes.
Grass is the people that walk their dogs.
That
And I
asphalt is
had it.
hot.
Yes, it was extremely hot. I thought I had burnt my feet, but that's like I was saying that I have a neighbor, a lovely woman. Every day, 2-3 times a day, she walks her dog up and down that sidewalk, and that sidewalk is
Yeah.
hot. Hot.
Dogs may have
Burn their
pads
little
under their
paws.
paws, but those pads are not. They're sensitive.
It,
to
it
Yes,
would,
they are.
The dog.
it would burn my dog's paws because they're not used to walking on
And,
concrete.
and if you got one of those dogs that's like meant for pulling sleds in Alaska,
Yeah.
and you got him in this neck of the woods with all that hair and fur and stuff on him, yes, it can act as an insulator, but he keeps the heat in once he gets heated up inside. Okay, because that's what he does in Alaska. So you keep those dogs under air conditioning, okay?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, my
Or
little
move to
one.
Alaska. in
My
the
little
wintertime.
one likes to run outside and play in the backyard, and I give him 5-10 minutes max, and I go get him. I don't want him out in that heat.
I was actually walking around in the grass barefoot, and it was hot.
Yeah.
The grass. So,
I do that because I know what's in the grass.
Yeah.
Bugs. And if there's a bug out there, they will bite me.
Well, do you have any of that nut
Yeah.
grass too? Walking on that'll cut you. It's sticky.
how will they do it?
Yeah. It'll cut your feet.
A lady sword. That's what we're going to call her. The slasher.
The slasher.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about this guy that y'all probably, and I can understand a normal person's not knowing the difference between an M4 and an M16 or an AR-15 or whatever. But to have the police commissioner, first of all,
Mhm.
describing it as an M4, well, what does she know? I don't know. Maybe she knows a lot. Maybe she's just been given the misinformation, or maybe she was given the correct information. If indeed it is truly an M4, that's an issued military weapon. The difference between the M4 and the M16, basically military stuff. M16's got a 20-inch barrel, and the M4 has got a 14.5-inch barrel. Whoops, red flag. The M4 also has a fully auto range of fire. The M16 has selective amount of fire. Generally, you fire 3-round burst in the so-called fully automatic position. You got to pull the trigger one time for every 3 rounds fired, or go into single fire, semi-automatic fire. Now, the M4, you're not going to find them on the streets unless they're stolen, if it's a true M4. Now, the civilian versions of the M16 is going to be a semi-automatic rifle called the AR-15 to show the difference between the M16. The military issue is an M16. The military 9mm Beretta is not the same designation as the civilian version, but it's identical to the weapon. Okay? So it's got a military designation attached to it. It's like the M40 Remington rifle was a great sniper rifle. It's actually a Remington 700 BDL. That's the civilian thing.
Right.
The military thing is they just put a different number on it. Now, the M4, if indeed it was fully automatic, it's illegal in every state, all over. It doesn't matter unless you have a certain permit, which this guy didn't. His concealed carry permit did not account for that. It also has a 14.5-inch barrel. The minimum barrel length for a rifle under the FFL, the Federal Firearms License, according to ATF, is going to be 16 inches. Whoops. So it's not going to be an M4. A civilian version, even if they have come out, some company has come out and designated their gun as an M4, it's not an M4 that we know about. It has to have at least a 16-inch barrel. There are some guns that are sold that shoot rifle bullets, like the 223, the 5.56, that are short. They have been designated by ATF as pistols. You have to have a handgun permit to buy one of those. This is not one of those unless it's unless it was bought that way and he put a longer barrel on it and he put a full stock on it, which you cannot do. You can't trick out a pistol to make it a rifle.
Sure.
Can't go that way. It's illegal. This screaming and hollering, oh, the experts there, that looks like a silencer at the end of it.
Oh, yeah. All that.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did all these people inside this building hear the gunshots and
That's right.
barricade them if there's a silencer? So anyway, that's not what it was. The barrel was wrapped in some combat-looking cloth or something in all likelihood. But, but to have the expert retired cop on there that we heard in the very beginning talking about it, who admittedly, as soon as he started talking about the gun, when he saw the picture of this dude with the gun, then somebody says, is that a 30-round magazine? He said, I don't know. I barely know enough about my own New York-issued police gun.
Oh, my.
I don't know anything about anything else. He probably fired a shotgun, 12 gauge with a short barrel. But he admitted, but then he goes on to talk about how this gun is very powerful, and it's a 223. Yes, it's an anti-personnel weapon, and it shoots a bullet, a 22 caliber bullet at high velocity. That gives us its kill power. But it's a 22 caliber. It's not meant to bring down elephants. It won't stop a tank. It will barely penetrate 2 layers of sheetrock because it's supposed to break up at high velocity to keep it from doing that. But the experts that get on there and start talking about it, God, please, you could Google it and get that information. Well, they don't know what to put into the Google search, though, do they? So there's a problem. But you sound so. We have 1.3 million active duty, I think it is, currently, military personnel in this country. How many veterans do we have? Millions more than that. Millions more than that. They've been through training. They know what this stuff is. And you're speaking to people like that, and you're showing your stupidity. I should call it ignorance. But you're stupid for not getting the information to figure out why you don't know anything more about it.
Right.
But you're going to speak as though you do. So therefore, you're stupid, not just ignorant. You're showing your ignorance with your stupidity.
I'm just curious where the media, the news outlets get these experts.
Because they're available, and they've made themselves available, and they like, oh, well, let's look at Bongino when he got out of the Secret Service. He was an expert. He went on every news media outlet there was as an expert with the Secret Service. I know a guy that went to school with him in Secret Service school.
910-333-0139. Give us a call. I want to come back to North Carolina for a second.
Yep.
Even with these shootings in Greenville, the city of Greenville, in the last week, I think have had 5 shootings, deaths. But the police chief was on there saying that over 500 illegal guns, for lack of a better term, have been confiscated. These guns were being used by teenagers, a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old charged with murder.
Mm-hmm.
They're not illegal guns.
Well,
they're used illegally by people that shouldn't have them.
There you go. Thank you.
Unless you've got something really weird.
Right.
So this gun yesterday was probably not illegal unless he modified it.
Yeah.
Unless it was stolen and it was indeed an M4. The barrel lengths did not look like an M4. It looked like a full-length barrel length, 20 inches.
Yeah, there were 2 teenagers killed in separate Greenville shootings.
Yeah.
One of the teenagers, the police believe that was accidentally shot by her boyfriend in an apartment.
Right.
I'm like,
They're looking into that one.
Well, hey, it's a good possibility that she was shot by her boyfriend accidentally. But as you know, I will tell you very quickly, there's no such thing as an accident. You've done something stupid.
right.
An accident is preventable. Your stupid actions, you got to get a brain.
The other was a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
13 years old.
They're such a waste. Such a
It-
waste
So
of humanity.
where is so they arrested a 17 and a 13-year-old.
Right.
I guess it's
What you
not
gonna
a
do
dumb.
with
It's
them?
not a dumb question. There are no dumb questions. where did they get these guns?
Oh,
Unreal.
well, I don't know. Where do they get their dope? Dope's illegal.
It's
The
true.
guns are illegal for them to have. It's illegal for them to buy. It's illegal for the guy that's got them to sell them to them. And I would just love to have every gun that the police everywhere, when they seize one that's used in commissions of crime.
Mm.
Unfortunately, and I won't go on a rant again, may I? Sure.
Sure.
Unfortunately, for you folks who have your gun stolen, you don't have your serial number. Well, guess what? You know how many let me pick a gun, Model 19 Smith & Wesson revolvers were made? Millions. You know what the difference between yours and the rest of them is? Nothing, except the serial number. That's it. So please make a note of your serial numbers and then make a copy of it. And if you have a gun safe, cool. Don't put the list of serial numbers in your gun safe for safekeeping. When they go in there to take your guns, they're going to take anything else they can get their hands on.
Mine's in the cloud.
That's what.
Ruh-roh.
Mine's in the cloud, my numbers. I have them posted several different places, but in the cloud is one place. You'll never lose them in the cloud.
That's, well,
It's true. You'll never lose them
I've
in the
lost
cloud.
stuff in the cloud because I can't find where I put it. So, and it also screwed up this computer right here.
On
So
a
I won't be
cloudy
doing that
day.
again. I'm not, you can put it wherever you want to, but make
Right.
multiple copies of them.
Yes,
And when
that's what I do.
And when you buy another one or you do dispose of one, do so. And from time to time, it would be wise to lay them all out. And nobody else is around, so nobody will interfere with your, and then verify, okay, I got this gun, check it off. And then, because you just do not know if you have visitors in your home.
That's right.
And there is a teenager
That's right.
in your home that lives with you, called yours, or your kid, and brings other teenagers into your home, and they go snooping. Let me show you what Daddy's got.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Mama's 44 Magnum? Oh,
Yep.
and they go snooping.
And who's going to be responsible in the end if something happens?
Well, the owner is,
That's right.
but you know, these guns can disappear, and the very instant you do not can't account for them, there's a problem. You need to be reporting that to the police. They will enter in something called NCIC, National Crime Information Center. Okay, it's a database, and law enforcement all over this country, every time there's a gun, especially that they pick up, even at the scene of a drug arrest, when they do a raid, okay, you will hear them calling it in, or you won't. They'll be on the phone sometime, but they will run very quickly a gun with serial number, because that guy sitting back there at dispatch headquarters, the guy without that fancy computer stuff, you'll punch it in. Okay, you got a want on. You want to check this for a serial number. Serial number is what's the barrel length? Okay, what brand is it? Yeah, got it. Yeah, reported stolen last week from right here in Jacksonville. Ding! You're under arrest, Bubba.
Ding,
Come on.
ding, ding, ding. Yes.
That's all they need.
Yes.
And that way you also will get your gun back at some point in time. You'll have to prove you own it, but if you report it stolen, that goes without saying, you're going to get it back. So it's our responsibility to make sure that happens. But you would be absolutely amazed at the guns that have to be destroyed because they cannot find an owner. And can you imagine how bad it makes some of these police officers feel to be destroying a collector's item?
Mm.
And then one grand from World War II. Oh my.
Wow.
Oh my. Yeah.
They talk about the shooter. Quite frankly, I could care less about him.
Yeah.
I really could care less
Right.
about it. The ones I care about are the police officer's family,
Right.
and the other
The other victims'
people's-
families,
yeah,
right?
their families. That's who should be concentrated on. And I think sometimes, a lot of times, they get left in the way background. It should be brought more forward that these people just out working, getting ready to go home after a day of work, meet this kind of stupid violence.
Well, I believe it was a police commissioner that was detailing what they knew at the time, but the gunman had walked into the front door, and of course the police officer was up there, and he shot the police officer first, and then made a right, and a woman hid behind one of the pillars there, and he went around and shot her.
Yep.
And then he went to the elevator and to take the elevator up. And when the elevator door opened, a woman was standing there, and he let her go. He just go on. Can you imagine being that woman?
The behavior of people in a situation like that, you don't know why did he pick certain targets? I do not know. It's like Kohlberger. He let that one person walk right by. She saw him and she could identify, but he let her go.
Yeah, he did.
So, you never know who they're going to pick to shoot and why. Maybe the woman looked like his mother. I don't know. What was her race? The one that he let go? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Well, I would certainly be asking what were the races of all of the other individuals involved?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was this a racially? You can rest assured if it was a white guy and he shot 27 black people.
Yeah.
And let the white people go.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know what this was, but we should know because we want to make sure that they're telling us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Somebody else made that comment last night.
Is it relevant?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not. But you need to eliminate that as a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Racial crimes can go both ways, y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there was just so much said last night. I hope by today they'll be able to sort through some of it. But it was crazy because we were all texting each other different stuff depending on which channel we were watching.
Now,
it was crazy.
Here we go on this one now. You ready?
Yes.
Theo, you listening? This guy was a high school football player.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He claims, according to some of the writings that they purport to be from him, is that he suffered head injuries or head damage, and he is suffering some kind of a whatever lasting forevermore, and that's the reason he was doing things like this. Really?
Is that why he drove for 2 days to that office in New York City? Because NFL's got an office there?
Well, he played in the Canadian Football League, so why he was doing that?
So why would you go
to the NFL office?
But he's blaming some of his mental state on this. If they knew in Las Vegas, as they were reporting last night, if they knew that this guy with a concealed carry permit, if he developed or started showing signs of a mental issue, why did the authorities at that time not take action to remove his concealed carry permit?
That was my first thought. Plus the fact he was there as a security guard, working as a security guard.
Yeah, they're generally not armed at the casinos, though. Civilian security guard type people.
I don't know.
They'll have a group with an agency or something like that.
Still.
That may be armed guards, but I do not know that he worked for a company, and I don't know that he needed a concealed carry permit to work for the company.
They say he had a private investigator's license, but it was expired, and the picture they showed expired in a couple of years ago. So
I
don't know if any of that's true.
I don't know whether any of that is true or not. I know to get a PI license in North Carolina, you got to jump through some hoops to do it.
Well, yeah, they've changed it a lot. It used to be that there were certain things that you had to do, but now you actually have to have either so many years of law enforcement experience as a certified law enforcement officer, plus schooling and stuff. But it used to be that just about anybody could apply.
I can apply, but they
Yeah.
still had to have a background check and all sorts of
Oh,
good stuff
yes,
done.
most certainly, because it's the Private
And
Protective
you
Services
also,
Board.
before you could actually get that license in North Carolina, you had to work under another license.
That came
Yeah.
later. That
Did it?
came later. Yes, because that's how I got mine. I worked under my husband's license
Mhm.
as an associate,
Right.
and I had to work so many hours to get mine. But back then, well, it's the Private Protective Services Board under the State Bureau of Investigation in
Right.
North Carolina that does the licensing. So, but it's all changed now.
Yep.
It's made it more difficult, which is good.
It should be good. It should
Yes.
be. It should be as
Yes.
difficult as it can be.
I mean, you
to do
even
this.
have to, well, see, we even had to now in the armed security side of it, we had to go through firearms
Yeah.
training, and we had to, shoot every year to
Had
keep
to
that
qualify.
up. We had to
Yeah,
qualify.
Under the original, the PIs they could not carry guns. This is before the days of concealed carry permits.
Hmm.
They couldn't even carry a gun in the beginning unless they were with the Armed Protective Division.
Yeah, see, we had both of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So those were the days when life was simple. The most you'd get from a kid at an event was, please don't stand in the doorway. And that was mainly it. And then maybe going in, like at a football game, finding where the beer's hidden. That was just mostly that. And then as the years
About all you
progressed,
could do then was
it
pour
turned
out.
into, we always told them we were keeping it for ourselves. Just
No.
kidding. But no, but then it turned
Christmas
into
gift.
drugs, and it turned into guns. I'll never forget working at White Oak High School one night,
Really?
and there for an event, and I was there by myself because it was a very simple thing. We just didn't need anybody other than that. A fight broke out outside right near the sign at White Oak High School, and shots were fired. And then everyone tore off across the street into White Oak Estates, and it was crazy. But by the time the sheriff's office finally got there, which they were all tied up elsewhere, but one lone highway patrolman, he goes, I'm going to go after him. He just charges down the street in his patrol car. And I'm like calling the sheriff's office, like, you guys need to back him up because, but everything finally settled down. But it was used to be alcohol where they hid the beer and a few fights.
Of
And
course.
we called the parents, come get them, and everybody laughed about it. Yeah, Dad, you take care of them. Then it turned into the drug scene, and then it went to weapons. It got really tough in those latter years. You never knew who was carrying one, and that was before they had the metal detectors. Way
Yeah.
before that.
Oh,
I just thought it might be, wouldn't it be funny, but in your police station where you're going to bring juveniles and adults,
Right.
you have a display up there, and you have a stick like the one over there
Right.
up top, 18 and above, and then you have a little paddle below 18 where you spank them on the spot.
I'll tell you what, it's just things change so much.
Turn them over
Over the
turn
years.
them over to good old Coach Andy Hewlett.
oh, yeah.
Y'all don't know that man. That man could walk into the shower in the boys' locker room, popping. He walk in there with a board and he starts swinging that Board of Education on a wet backside.
You know,
Nowadays, you go to jail for being a pedophile if you did that.
No,
the
It's
chamber,
not like it used to be.
the local chamber has leadership classes once a year.
Mhm.
I got to be the president of our class. We went on a tour of all the city and county facilities, including the sheriff's department.
Mhm.
I still to this day believe that if you take field trips with students and you take them in there and you let them see,
back to the scared straight days.
you're not kidding.
It was enough for me. It scared me enough.
You're not.
I was
I'm
like,
It used to be there was that program, and then of course I guess it was either abused or it really worked. And the parents, they got the little twinkle toes in there. Parents had kids, but they would you take the really mean kids, those that are vicious, those that are what path they're taking. You got them at 14, 15, 16, and you take them and you put them in a room with hardened criminals who have volunteered to scare these
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
And then they will use every kind of language that these kids will understand. And about, here's what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And they do not bite their tongues.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Go ahead, go down there to the jail.
You haven't tell you
Go
what.
upstairs, down, watch.
You go in there and watch, see the ones that are just waiting to make a phone call to get bail or get an attorney.
The most impressive looking thing used to be, I don't know this jail, I just knew the old jail, is when you take them from the magistrate's office, you walk them after you got the warrant, you walk them around there, and they're all friendly, perhaps with you at that point in time, and you take them over there and put the button, and the one of the jailers comes out, and they were jailers, they were not corrections officers, they didn't correct anything, they keep you in jail. And there's the first set of bars that opens up. It opens up, he pushes a button back in the control cage, it opens up, and you say goodbye, here's your stuff, just hand this to him. It closes, wham. And they're sitting there for about 30 seconds or so inside between two sets of bars. And there was one guy especially, I mean, he was a tough dude on the street, but and he turned around and looked at me, and the tears were coming right down his face.
Yeah.
Because I was a friend to him. I was on the outside. I was
So
cool. I was
sad.
going home. He was not. His new home was the Onslow County Hotel. So some of that will have an impact on you.
Sure.
When that jail cell, wham.
Well, here you go, Rayford. Ghislaine,
I
whatever.
saw the special on her. I knew how to pronounce it until you just did it. Gazine.
Anyway, she's asking the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn her conviction.
Good luck.
See, this whole thing with her working with the DOJ, whatever, yeah, it's all a ploy to get out.
Well, that takes me down to Florida. So I'll just follow up on that story. So they interviewed Trump, and he said there was lots of people in Palm Beach that were invited to go to the island.
I heard.
And he goes, and I chose not to. I was the wise one. Yeah. The other ones, I don't know if they went. It doesn't matter to me. But I kicked him off of my property because he was making.
It was a sleaze bucket.
Yeah, pretty much. And he was touching employees and stuff. He's
Yeah, he has said that before. He said that 2-3 years ago, I remember, when the whole thing came up, and he's like, nope. I used to go to his parties. I used to go to his island. And I said, nope.
But I want to go further to Miami's coast and that barge.
Yeah, I
and the
have that
sailboat
story right there.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Okay.
going to bring that up. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I do.
No, you go ahead if you like.
It was horrible to watch that barge
Yes.
hit that sailboat. And
And
at 6:30 last night, the sailboat was still under the barge.
Yes, it was.
Everybody was out.
Yeah, if anybody's listening and wondering what it is, it was in Miami Beach, and a sailboat was capsized yesterday when a watercraft collision. A barge hit it, went right over top of it, flipped it under it, and I think it's still there at this time. But 6 people were on the sailboat, an adult and 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
And they were recovered from the water and transported to a local hospital. Since then, 2 of the juveniles were pronounced dead at the hospital, the U.S. Coast Guard said, and 2 more remain in critical condition, while the others did not require medical attention. Okay, it was a sailing program, a youth sailing program.
Yeah.
And not to be critical, because this is a horrendous it's a horrendous thing to have happened. But 1 adult and 5 children?
Yeah.
How old were the kids?
They ranged between, I think, the ages of 5, 7, something like that, on up.
How big was the sailboat?
I don't know. They've not specified on that. Yeah, they said it was a counselor and the children between the ages of 8 and 12.
Okay.
This story says.
They were part of the Miami Yacht Club
Yes.
summer program sailing, but at about 6:45 last night when they were reporting it, the barge was still there. The Coast Guard was still surrounding the barge. It had a crane on it.
Right.
So nothing.
It had a crane on it to begin with. I think
Right.
that was part of his.
Yeah, that was his,
Compliment,
I
yeah.
guess, thing. And so,
On the picture they had earlier, it doesn't. Yeah, there is a crane on it right there.
Yeah.
I saw the crane.
Yes.
so, it was a horrendous
Okay.
accident.
Isn't a barge pushed by tugboats?
Pushed or pulled,
Right.
either one.
but
So
you didn't see any. of those
nobody
pictures.
saw anything about to happen. That's
So nautically speaking,
Mhm.
you need to look out. You're required to have a lookout. You're supposed to do that. I would also guess, I don't know,
right.
but a commercial vessel like the barge, the tug, or whatever was involved there, should have had, or maybe had. Maybe it was too expensive to put a $2,000 radar on it, but whoever's running the boat, they can see there. They got a lookout up forward. They
Right.
should have a lookout up forward with a radio to talk to the guy in the helm at the helm. And I don't know the exact layout of how the barge, the vessel that was motorized, that was moving that barge. I don't know anything about any of that. I did not look at it that closely after the fact. Computer issues, but that. And what was the sailboat under full sail, or did it have a motor
It's
The-
not
running
been
at the same
said.
time?
It's not been said, but the way that the video shows it, it's either moving very slowly, and the barge just creamed it from the side. Is the way it
If
looked.
It
it's
just-
under full sail and that was it, it has limited maneuverability. You
Yeah.
got to
Right.
go where the
It doesn't
wind's going
have
to help you.
brakes.
Right.
Well, the brakes don't work, but you've
Mhm.
got to be able to maneuver it, and you've got limited
Right.
maneuverability. And if you're going to make a turn, for instance, you got to do a lot of work just to make
Right.
a turn. If it's a hard turn, you don't make them on a dime. Let's just put it that way. With a motor, you have a little bit more maneuverability. But if the sails are up, which I'm assuming that they
They
were
were.
since they had a sailing program, even if they had a motor, you still have those motors a little bit better than lawnmower motors as far as power is concerned. So they don't use them except generally to get in and out of a port.
Right.
Docking processes. If there's no wind, they will have it kick it
Yeah,
on to
yeah,
assist
we
with maneuverability.
Yep.
But I don't know what was going on with this. The barge, in all likelihood, is going to be held responsible for everything
Oh, I would think so.
because they are under power and they do not know if that vessel had a sail up. They don't know whether it had a motor up or not, whether it was running. So it doesn't really matter. He has the responsibility of maneuvering away. If his attention was somewhere else, sailboats go, you should be able to see that one. I don't know what kind of sailboat it was, but I'm assuming with at least 7 people on board, it should have been a decent sized sailboat, 25 foot or more. Should
Well,
be.
I just
With sails sticking way up.
I'm curious on this one to see what the investigation is
I'll take
going
a
to
look
show.
at it today too.
Very curious.
But it's a tragedy. It's not an accident. It is a tragic situation all the way around. 2 dead kids.
Mhm.
Even on a sailboat. My God, a friend of mine, he had sailboats. He wouldn't have been able to maneuver his sailboat all by himself under normal conditions. Fun kids from 6 to 12, you say 8 to 12 or something? No, you're teaching them.
One channel says 8 to 12 and 7 to 13. So
Well,
once
it's close
again,
enough.
the news media is just all over the place.
But kids that age are not. If they're out there learning how to, they're not. They're useless. Sorry. As far as being able to maneuver a vessel and do things, you're teaching them how, but you need adult. You got to have adult leadership, adult supervision on board, and one person, somebody got to steer the boat.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. What if the person steering the sailboat was distracted by all the kids, and there's
Or
going to be a lot.
suppose it was a child at the helm.
That's right. It could have very
It's
well
okay,
been.
but it's probably going to be. You just keep it on this
Right.
course. If the sail starts in the wind, starts flapping in the wind, you turn it back this way a little bit. You do teaching them how to sail. Okay, but you still got to have somebody else on board. You're going to have adults on board. I wouldn't take that many kids on board to go across New River in my boat unless they were handcuffed.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus.
it was another one of those situations that when it first started unfolding yesterday, the news coming out,
They're
there's
speculating. They don't know.
dozen people and they're all missing. They had 5 missing.
They probably
at one
have not a
time.
clue. The people that see, that's the good thing about having a reporter from a local area. Number one, some knows local stuff, and hopefully we'll be participating in some of those activities. If I went up there to Alaska as a young reporter from North Carolina, I'm going to be lost. You think I got to get on snowshoes to do what? What is a giddy up horse? No, that's a dog. What am I? No, I wouldn't know anything about it. Right.
Right.
And you bring reporters in from Missouri that's going to go onto this big ocean or the bay there in Miami to give descriptions of people in a boat.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know which channel were you watching. I was watching the local news
For which one?
for Florida, right there in that
Which
area.
one?
It
Local
was.
news?
I picked it up
I'll
on
have to look it back
NBC.
up, Rayford,
Yeah.
to see what the name
Yeah.
of the station was, but it was a local news station, and they were in a helicopter.
I had
That was
gotten it
Channel
from
7
NBC.
probably.
NBC Nightly News.
Yes, this was during the live feed.
Right.
Yeah, because I know you were watching it too. But goodness gracious, yeah, another story that we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happened.
Yeah. North
Sad.
Carolina's Attorney General, his name is Jeffrey Jackson, will be in Pollocksville today.
Oh wow.
Oh, good.
Let me
It's
run right
25
over.
miles up the road here, if he can find it. He's coming in to highlight recently canceled FEMA funding, he said. $200 million that was supposedly coming from the Storm Resiliency Fund of FEMA. It was canceled for all of North Carolina. Jones County town of Pollocksville supposed to get $1.1 million in building resilient infrastructure and communities funding, according to a release from the Attorney General's office. That's what Jones County was supposed to get, $1.1 million. The money would have been used to elevate commercial buildings' floors to help prevent future flooding.
I thought it was called stilts.
Was it really a viable plan out there to put commercial buildings up on stilts? Hurricane Florence, that little witch is going to live with us for the rest of my life, like Hurricane Hazel did for the first part. I thought it was in 2018, but they're saying 2017, whatever year it was. Pollocksville saw dangerous flooding, 75 buildings getting major damage. In 2023, a couple of years ago, the Pollocksville Railroad's train station and town hall flooded by Florence was moved. 2 years ago, They moved it. The Attorney General, the Mayor, Jay Bender, and other people will be at today's event. And I really hope there's a good contractor, a local boy up there that shows up at that event. You're going to do what to these buildings? We're going to raise the floors? We're going to raise the rest of the building? We're going to put the whole building on stilts? These commercial buildings that are built of concrete blocks and brick from 1901? We're going to raise those? No, we're going to tear them down and you rebuild them if you want to. Florence was one of those 100-year storms. The impact of it because of the amount of rain. The storm itself was not hugely powerful as far as winds were concerned, but 31 inches of water in an area that has creeks and lakes and, well, not lakes, but creeks and rivers and stuff like that, like some parts of Jones County, Pollocksville including, have. They all came up. Right down the street here, Old 30. There's a creek that's running behind a bunch of houses, and the houses are way up on, some of them are up on particular that we're familiar with. Those ditches, basically, that become streams and then deluges and they overflow, the water is meant to move there. But you know what? If those ditches are not cleaned out on a regular basis, you got something called these danged old beavers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they build dams. those ditches have got to be cleaned out.
Beavers.
Otherwise, it backs up. When you when all that stuff downstream from your house is here, the water's flowing down from left to right, and the beavers have built a dam or debris has piled up. People have thrown their debris in, trees have fallen, natural progression or digression. Stuff accumulates and dams the stream up, and then it all starts to rise. And then what was a 2-story home has got water coming in the second floor. Huh? Because of that, and it's already 10 or 12 feet above the river, the stream level, which became a river. So, you're going to prevent that? Yeah, take that millions of dollars that you got to go clean the ditches.
A lot could be done with cleaning ditches.
Uh-huh.
One of my pet peeves is lawn services that blow their clippings and stuff into the roads,
Yes.
that clog the drains.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Which I thought was against the law, but
You go down the street
Ordinance.
here for all
Mhm.
beginning Wednesday and Thursdays, and all the lawn services out there, and a few of them will go along with blowers and blow it into a pile and pick it up and take it away.
Right.
Not many.
I blow mine back into the yard.
that's what I do.
The clippings, yeah. I
Most
always
of them
clean my
don't.
We
street.
just put them down a little mulch.
In the grass.
Yeah, the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what
yeah.
we do. Yes, that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
A little mulch.
But I have seen
if
people.
you got a catcher on the back of it, or the side of your mower, or whatever, pick it up and put it in your compost pile or some
Yep.
kind of a pile.
I
you
used
got
to use
back
a
there.
catcher. Now I just let it go right back into the earth again.
You go.
But-
So I did
You go
Chris,
yesterday.
natural, huh?
Yeah, Chris, you brought up an excellent point though, because motorcyclists
Uh-huh.
traveling along the road and
Mhm.
somebody's blown all their debris into the
You
road.
mean that
That's-
slippery grass?
yes,
Loose,
it's
slip back.
horrible.
No, it is.
And I have seen people in my neighborhood in the past that have mow about once a month, so
Mhm.
you know there's a lot of grass.
Yeah.
And they blow it right into. I saw a girl take a blower and just blow it all into the street, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Well, the ones that get me is on along Western Boulevard and the extension of Western Boulevard. And they're cutting the grass's business. The business is grass. Shooting it out. Cars are going by. You don't know what you're going to hit. You're going to hit a car.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point too, because I generally always mow so that the chute is away from the
Right.
street,
Yeah.
and away from the sidewalk. And then when I take the blower to clean up the road and the sidewalk, when I see a car coming, I stop,
Yep, me too.
because you never know when you're going to kick up a pebble and hit somebody's windshield.
Mhm.
Could happen.
Okay. There's a pipeline story here. I'll get to real
Well,
quick.
I've got one for you. It's official.
Uh-oh.
Roy Cooper announced yesterday.
Yeah.
It's official. He is running for U.S. Senate, and yep. And you know how he announced it on X.
Yeah, on X.
On X.
Why not?
But why not have a press conference and announce it? No, he gets on social media on X
Yeah.
and announces it. But he's likely. Michael Wally has not announced yet, and
Not publicly.
don't think that he might change his mind.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but really, what choices have now that Trump wants him to run for U.S. Senate? If he tells Trump no, he's probably going to lose his RNC chair.
Yeah.
So he's kind of stuck. But this is going to be one of the most competitive, bruising, and expensive Senate battles of 2026. Mark my words.
I'll throw you a curveball. What if Tom Tillis just turned around and said,
Yeah.
I've changed my mind?
I've thought that before too.
I thought
If
about
this is
it.
the best
but-
that y'all have got to offer, I'm sticking with it.
yeah.
That's something to think about.
That would be the way he would have to do it, though. If y'all can't come up with somebody that I think is viable and can actually get elected as a Republican Party,
Mm.
I don't really want to abandon the people out here in North Carolina. So I'm going to do it again. And if y'all can find somebody, you need to start looking now. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's done a video where he's announced it, and then yesterday I saw one of his first commercials, and I was like, It was, oh my gosh, the most vetoed governor we've ever had in North Carolina.
I got North Carolina Department of Transportation crews are closed a section of Turtle Shell Road. You ever heard of that?
Shell. Yes, I
Turtle
have. It's
Shell.
over there off of 258.
Yeah,
24.
near Gregory Fork
24,
Road,
yes.
Richlands area, replacing 2 cross-line pipes today. And they're closing one over of NC 50 near Clinton in Sampson County for a pipe replacement too. Both of the roads closed yesterday. They should open by the 1st, which is Thursday,
Friday.
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 You sure?
Friday is the 1st. I had to
Okay,
look at the
what I thought.
calendar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew.
Oh, you're looking at your calendar up
No.
there, the one that
Looking at it.
sometimes has 2 or 3 first of the months.
Jump, you know.
I did it the easy way. Today's the 29th. So
I know
Thursday
it's
be
the 1st because it's payday. I always know what day my paydays are on.
Oh, okay.
My retirement check is.
All right, so that's what's happening there. Let's go ahead and knock weather out of here and see if we can knock it out of
Okay.
the park today and see.
Yes, get rid of it.
Oh shoot!
While you're getting ready for the weather, for Chicago Cub fans and baseball fans, you got to talk about a class guy. The loss of Ryan Sandberg, 65 years old, Hall of Famer for the Chicago Cubs, passed away.
I do not know him.
He was the epitome of a good guy.
Mhm.
Good guy. Just plain old
Well, if
good
you're going to
guy.
mention baseball, how about the local scene? The Ospreys won
Oh,
their
the Ospreys,
first
yeah.
playoff. They lost their first playoff game, so they are out.
Yeah.
But what an extraordinary season.
2 in a row.
Interesting because they were interviewing one and they said, so when it's so hot like this, what do you do? Because you're in the you're supposed to be in the dugout. We go in our cars and sit in the air conditioning.
Why don't they just put a couple of big fans in
Oh,
there?
you
They're
talking
working on
about
that.
the Ospreys?
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, well, they
That's
actually
terrible.
they've put in for some grants to upgrade the system, put fans for the fans and for the players.
I think you can
Good.
put some. I think in a dugout you
It's-
could put that vinyl stuff that rolls up and down,
Yeah,
whatever,
a huge
and then
fan.
put a small air conditioning unit in
Yeah.
there, or a large air conditioning unit in there.
Yeah.
That might work too. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not HVAC. Wish I was because I got a unit that's not acting right. Offshore today, easterly winds 5 to 10 knots. That way today and tomorrow, same thing, identical outlook. Seas around 2 feet, sounds and rivers of light chop. On Thursday, the winds are going to switch around from the east to the southwest. When the winds are from the west, the fishing is best. Winds of 5 to 10, seas to about 2 feet, sounds and rivers only a light chop. And not sure what's going to happen for the weekend with a little bit of change in the weather. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay,
That was your
today.
cue.
Yeah, I was just, I thought you were going to add something.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Today, partly sunny with a high near 93. Heat index values as high as 105. A slight chance of rain and thunderstorms this afternoon. Tonight, patchy fog after 5 a.m., partly cloudy with a low of 76. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 92 and heat index values as high as 102. A slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, we may get some relief, partly sunny with a high near 90 and a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms as they escort that cooler front coming in.
Okay, let's go to the phones for just a
Escort.
second.
All right. All right.
Call back.
The phones are available, folks. That was the point of that. Phones are available 910-333-0139. I know we've got enough out there for you to react to. 910-333-0139. Okay, if you're not going to react, here's the one. An investigation conducted by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission found there was reasonable cause to believe that the Providence, that's in Rhode Island, public school district was unlawfully discriminating against white teachers by only offering student loan forgiveness to non-white educators. The evidence, they say, obtained during the investigation establishes reasonable cause to believe that respondent engaged in unlawful discrimination against a class of white applicants and employees who applied and were hired by respondent and a teaching position for 5 academic years, starting with the 2021-22 school year based on their race, color, and national origin. That's from the EEOC final determination letter. In 2022, the Legal Insurrection Foundation, a Rhode Island-based nonprofit investigative and research group, filed a civil rights complaint with the U.S. Department of Education against the Providence Public School District. The group claimed that the Providence Public School District offered a program giving student loan forgiveness to new teachers available only to non-white educators. The complaint maintained that the Providence Public School Districts engaged in a continuing violation and an ongoing pattern or practice of discrimination with the student loan forgiveness program for newly and recently hired educators that's only accessible to non-white applicants, which was called the Educator of Color Loan Forgiveness Program. How blatant was that? Educator of Color Loan Forgiveness Program. What are you staring at? That's dangerous. The Providence Public School District reportedly said that recipients can have up to $25,000 of college loans forgiven once the teacher completes 3 consecutive years of teaching in the district.
Right.
Eligibility requirements indicate recipients must identify as Asian, Black, Indigenous, Latino, biracial, or multiracial.
What?
The EEOC final determination letter states that Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 bars employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, mandates that if violations are found, the Providence Public School District must work to bring a resolution.
So
they have opened a door, haven't they?
If you're white, you don't count.
Yep.
You're not eligible for this.
Correct.
It should be based on, I would think, financial need, et cetera, not the color of your skin.
No, it's based upon your color of your skin, whether you were excluded or not.
That's just.
It's called reverse discrimination.
Well,
It's
when
just
are we
called
going
discrimination.
Well, it's
When
discrimination.
are we going to
discrimination.
stop with the color of the skin? When are we going to ever stop?
Look, not in your lifetime.
God, it's just so
Definitely not in mine.
disappointing that we still do this.
Well, one color comes to mind at any wherever you're at, wherever you're whatever happens, whether it's tragic, it's I know there's no accidents. People call them
Act of God is an accident, but
one color, red. That's it.
blood.
Blood.
And
Red.
it's actually blue until it comes out of the body.
But that's it. I mean, I don't.
How do you know that?
Whether you're
Have you ever seen it inside the body?
It turns red very quickly when it comes out.
But how do you know it's really blue? It's inside. You can't see it.
What color are your veins? You can see through it.
Well, that's the veins. The blood is in the veins.
The blood is what gives the veins their color.
Just picking.
Y'all think I'm kidding, don't you?
No, I'm just picking. I knew that. I just knew
When
that.
when it hits air, oxygen, then it turns red.
Right. Yeah, I learned that in biology class. Yeah, it's just you ever wonder why?
well, I wonder why people just can't not just get past color of the skin.
I
kinda
agree with you
brown.
100%. It's just and we use that basis for everything that happens in the world anymore. It's just like with the shooting yesterday in New York. Already it turned into racial,
No,
and with a lot of the comments being said is what I'm talking about. And it's just, we see it in every sport. We see it in NASCAR. We see it in football. We see it everywhere. Sick of it.
No.
I respect you for the person you are, not the color of your skin.
if the first thing you have to ask is, what color is that guy? Then there's a problem.
Right.
And there were, for a time, several folks got really irritated with law enforcement for what they put out bolos, be on the lookout for
Yes.
folks, and they would describe them, and they would always use a color if they had the color. Well, be on the lookout for what can I say, just a male? Can I say he's short?
A WM or a BM.
What can I say about it? How does this really apply without me saying he's a black male, light-skinned black male, dark-skinned black male? Oh God, he's got an afro. Can I say that? There were groups of people that were really upset that police were using a description that included black male.
But I see that as a description. It could
It
be
is
a white
description.
male.
It is.
A redheaded white male with freckles, you know? I mean, that's all part of the description.
The redheaded people society of this country doesn't want you to do that because you're singling them out.
See?
I'm being a little facetious with that, but actually they
Right.
did. And one of the things that really got them going was in Wilmington, a bad guy was on the run. He escaped when they had him in the hospital. That happens too often. And hospital people don't like you keeping a bad guy in handcuffs. Well, you take care of him then. He's yours. I'm deputizing you. If he escapes, it's on you. That's what I would say. But anyway, he got out, and he also was an AIDS carrier. He was. This was back in the early '80s, mid '80s, and he had AIDS, and he liked to bite.
Ouch.
He bit people
Ooh.
because he was.
A vampire.
That was just mean.
Oh.
And they put that information out, including his name, his description, and including the warning. This is a warning. It's no different telling people that, and the LGBT, I don't think they had a Q at that time, community came out and said, you're describing this guy as a basically homosexual, and he bites people, and he's got AIDS, and you've given his name.
Well,
Would you want me to put out there Joe Smith, a whatever, heterosexual male? And we're not going to tell you that he's got a gun because that would be irresponsible. No, we're going to do the safety of our officers. You choose to listen to the scanners. We don't make you.
well, what difference is that than publicizing a sex offender and where they live?
He's been convicted.
So has the sex offender. What I'm
the
saying is,
sex offender has been convicted.
oh, right.
They,
But
they have lost their rights according to the general statutes that we
but-
have in this country.
pertaining to the story you just told, though, was that person ever arrested and convicted?
Had not been at that time. He was a
The
But
bolo.
has been since, yes.
The bolo.
oh, I don't know since
Right.
then, but we're talking about at the time that they were looking for him.
Right.
He was an inmate and he wasn't in there because he had AIDS or because he was gay. He was in there because he had committed a crime, biting people.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
So, our folks out there in La La Land just have not a freaking clue what's going on, do they?
Well, I've got some good news and some bad news for you.
I don't want to hear the
I
bad
can
news.
tell you how to make $12,500 really easy.
Printing
Right.
press involved?
You know, we've talked about the Google Street View camera that's mounted on these vehicles. They go up and down streets, and they update the system for maps and stuff like that.
They got
Well-
permission to take pictures of my house?
A police officer sought payment from the internet giant for harm to his dignity, arguing he was behind a 6.5 foot wall when a Google camera captured him in the buff from behind.
You mean he was naked?
He was naked. He was naked,
From
Rayford.
behind.
His house number and street number were also laid bare, broadcast
Oh,
on
pardon the
TV, covering the story, and shared widely on social media.
Oh.
The man claimed his invasion exposed him to ridicule at work.
Exposed him.
Exposed him. I don't know who wrote the story, but they did so
It
good.
was somebody like me, so
Yeah.
doubt. with
The
an
man
attitude.
claimed the invasion exposed him to ridicule at work and among his neighbors. Another court last year dismissed the man's claim for damages, ruling he only had to blame himself for walking around in inappropriate conditions in the garden of his home. Okay, Rayford, if you got a 6.5 foot privacy fence around your yard and you're in the
Watch out for
backyard
drones.
and you're surrounded by trees and stuff, do you feel like you're exposing yourself by being outside in the buff?
Well, if you're outside in the buff, you're going to be exposing yourself.
But you, what I'm saying is, do you feel like it's in the privacy of your yard?
Do you have a here's what the legal eagles are
Careful,
going
you
to
can
tell
make
you.
$12,000 here.
Here's what the legal eagles are going to be doing with anything like this. Expectation of privacy. What is the real, honest to goodness expectation of privacy? Is that a legitimate expectation of privacy in the backyard of your home? Did anybody else have access to it? Would, under normal conditions, anybody be able to see into your backyard through a crack in the fence? Pardon that pun. Through a crack in the fence, or
I just got it.
or any of that. That's the way the legal eagles will
By the
argue. It's an
moonlight.
expectation of privacy. Do you have an expectation of privacy under those conditions?
Well, this is what the appeal judge said.
That's what I want to hear.
He says they concluded the man's dignity had been flagrantly violated and awarded him an amount equivalent to $12,500 payable by Google. This involves an image of a person that was not captured in a public space, but within the confines of their home, behind a fence taller than the average sized person. The invasion of privacy was blatant.
Here's the other thing that the court did not rule on, that they probably could have gotten a lot more money if the civil attorneys had been smarter than they obviously were. They put it out there. He was in an area. He was by himself. He was not a member of a street crowd. You shoot a guy in the middle of the street getting naked, that's going to be,
Right.
yes, one thing. But they went and into an area where he was not normally, and they also centered on him as part of the landscape. And obviously, there was nothing else back there but him.
Yeah.
If there were
Right.
200 other people back there, that's a different story.
Right.
But he was. Did they get a model release from him? There's the key. If I take a picture of you and I'm going to be using it for profit, if I can take the pictures, but if I publicize it or use it for profit, I sell it or do whatever with it, and I do not have a release from you, and you are identifiable. Now, if it's from your backside and you're not generally considered to be identifiable unless you, well, we can go there, but if you are identifiable, there is where these frauditors and John Legato and I had that chat, and he came out with that stuff the other day and used it. But if they come up and I'm identifiable, they center on me, not as part of a street scene, and they use it for profit means. Yes, what? It's not for journalistic means. The frauditors claim they're journalists, which we all know they're not, but they're doing it because they're selling it to YouTube. YouTube is also liable because YouTube should have to get a YouTube. If I sell a picture to, I don't know, a magazine for an ad, that magazine is going to get a model release from me and from whoever's in that picture, because they can't just use my images without me giving them permission to use my images.
Well,
I own the rights to the image. I can give them the rights to the image for sale. But I also have to show them that I have a model release and provide a copy of the model release for whoever's in the picture. God, I used to have to do that for all the belts ads that I did and all the block sportswear ads that I did. Anything that I did that involved people in it that were going to be published, I had to have releases from the individuals, and whoever I gave it to had to have releases from me.
Well, finishing the story, the judge pointed to Google's policy of blurring faces and license plates of people and vehicles photographed for street view as evidence. It was aware of a duty to avoid harm to third parties, but in this case, it was not his face that was visible, but his entire naked body. The image should have also been prevented.
Okay.
So they said no one wants to appear exposed to the world as of the day they were born.
That's a good ruling then, because he, if even if they blurred out his face,
Right.
it didn't, but they had his address.
I recognize that freckle.
It didn't matter. They had his address, and he's in the backyard of his address. Well, that pretty well narrows it down. And
Right.
yeah, that would be
Right.
the thing. Now, it may not be a recognizable, but it obviously is an identifiable.
Right.
So
They
the
said
model
that-
release would not reply, but the identifiable.
They said there was no justification for Google to evade responsibility for this serious error that involved an intrusion into the plaintiff's house within his private domain and undermining his dignity.
And-
But let that be a lesson to you.
And Google's
You're running out
attorneys-
naked.
And Google's attorneys, hey, Google, what time are you going to be in my neighborhood? And Google's attorneys should have paid off. They could have paid off
$12,000.
$100,000, and I'm
Yeah.
sure saved a lot of legal fees.
Rayford, you wanted that radio was
I
what,
was thinking
$8,000?
$12,500. I still have a couple $100,000 left.
Google, when
Another
will you
antenna.
be in the neighborhood?
Come on down, Google.
In 2019, Google had to pay like a $13 million fine for, it was a settlement for their collection of people's private information that they got through the Street View project. So
Yeah.
$13 million, that'll buy you a lot of radios.
I don't need but one, two, maybe seven. I could scatter them at my other homes if I had $13 million.
Mm.
I need one in every home I have.
But I mean, think about it. I would never do it.
Oh.
But no. But I'd scare everybody. But
Would you go outside at nighttime naked?
I've done that before with the
Mhm.
lights turned off.
Yeah. How about those things called infrared cameras that are
Yeah.
up there that show everything in the dark?
Anybody that wants to hover over my house thinking they're going to see something, let them have it.
Okay, you just gave permission.
It's not happening.
I mean, if you have a swimming pool and you want to go,
How many times have you got into the hot tub, Rayford, naked? Naked. How many times have you done it? See, look, he's counting. Do you have enough fingers for this?
I'm going to the toes
Take your
next.
shoes off.
I would dare say, does anybody out there not get into a hot tub when you're naked? Aren't you naked when you get into
Well,
a hot
aren't you
tub?
in the backyard now? And somebody could be looking over the fence?
They could.
Well, see,
They'd be trespassing.
that's right. So Google trespassed on this guy.
No, if they're standing over on my property looking over my fence, they're trespassing. Now you fly the drone overhead and you come on down and buzz, 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 buzz. Boom.
It's an invasion of your
was
privacy.
it Google Earth that did it?
Yeah, it was the Street View camera. You know how? Have you ever seen I've seen them around here. The Google cars that have the camera on top,
Uh-huh.
and they go around and they'll pick like Piney Green Road, and they're recording the getting the street speed recorded, and they'll take a left onto Old 30. They're mapping out everything.
Right.
Everything goes into their system.
They marry it up with
Yes.
their satellite views.
Yeah.
And then you can scroll and you can do whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly it goes into a street view from overhead or directly behind. You can go to different sides of the house, but it's generally what they call a street view.
Right.
Well, that's how some of my family found out what mountain I was in during the hurricane.
You
They
were
went
out
to
there-
Google
You were up
Earth.
there naked in the.
No, but I'm glad I wasn't outside in the woods being like a bear or something,
You mean being bare?
No, I mean like, going potty or something. I mean,
Like a bear.
that's what I mean.
Oh,
I
speaking of
said-
bears and that,
I felt my privacy was invaded.
my late cousin, he's about my age, he hunted with a group of people, deer hunters, right?
Hmm.
And they had gone into a wooded area, and I don't know exactly. I think it was aboard Camp Lejeune when they would allow civilians to go out there by invitation. And we were about 20, early 20s maybe, and he came back and he was just laughing his backside off. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "One of those guys up there." He said, he looked down there and he said, "My God, it's supposed to be a bear we're trailing behind here. A bear. Look at the size of that deposit that he left behind." And my cousin, being a good old boy like me from around, he said, "That must be a mighty sophisticated bear. There's some toilet paper there beside it." He said this. All the other guys in the party cracked up. The guy who made the comment didn't think it was that funny. But anyway, Why you talking about being in the bear doing things like taking a
I'm just saying
Like a
that
bear?
there's once again we're going to go back to there are cameras everywhere.
There are things that have got to you got to be you got to be smart in your usage when you're out there. If you don't really care,
Mhm.
well, let's just put it this way: you go down to the Caribbean and and I have been there with the beaches, like in Jamaica. I haven't been there in years. Beaches in Jamaica, they're not nude, but there are some nude areas, generally among a private. They'll advertise that there are going. If you walk along here now, you're going to likely run into some naked people, and then sometimes you will wish you hadn't. Ugh. But the women are going to be. I think I did the math one time. Spent a day with a pad and a pen, and I counted, and so I came out with 67.4% of women that showed up on the beach were topless.
Well, that's just about the way they are now at the public beaches, Rayford.
But
It's
I mean,
crazy.
these were public beaches in Jamaica and the Grill.
We're
But
talking
to me, it was kind of funny,
Right.
But it's one good old Southern boy here. I left North Carolina. I left Wilmington at the time to go to Jamaica for the first time and to go to the beaches there. And I'm like, what? I left. They were having a big discussion about making thongs illegal, which is when thongs have come out along the beaches at Riceville Beach, making them illegal. And of course, our question was, who's going to measure them? Because they came out with certain dimensions for the thong material had to be. And I'm like, depends on what size the rest of the, it's all relevant, right?
Yeah, it is.
Y'all can figure out what I'm saying here. But then I get down to Jamaica. Everybody's in a thong, and women are without tops. I'm like, I left North Carolina when the big issue, page one of the Star News, thong discussion at Riceville Beach. Really? That was the news. And I show up there because it was decadent. It was just going to cause rape and all sorts of stuff at Riceville Beach. And I get down there and I'm like, everybody's mostly naked.
Well, the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana was that way.
After a day, who cares, right?
Yeah, I mean, you walk this left of where we were staying, Majestic. You walk left, it's boring. If you wanted to see that, then you go to the right and you walk. And then I don't recall seeing that many people.
It's Steve calling.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. Like
I did not see a lot of nudity. There were, if you want to call it that, the topless was general.
Right.
There were some places where they were totally nude, but I didn't really care.
I just
Remind me to tell you about Tula when we
have
get
to
through.
tell you real quick. I've been trying to get this in here that our sports friend said that he's willing to bet that nobody's looking through your fence.
He said that's because they're afraid to.
Maybe it's because of all the cameras that everyone knows you
going
have.
to see, or what they're going to be photographed, or that
We'll
there's
have
going
to
to be
ask him
they're going to
tomorrow,
be met with
Thursday.
a serious. I mean, I would die laughing. y'all would be stupid. Steve, what's up?
Help, Steve.
Hey,
Help.
good morning, guys.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, man.
Well, I know. I don't know where to go either.
I hear you. I went to the plant store today and got me some new cucumber plants to put out.
Thank you.
I need to do the same thing.
I need to see.
Some of mine were looking a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree like. So, yeah, got me some more of them this morning and got me one of them multi-head sunflowers. It's just so pretty sitting there. I had to have one. Brought that home, and hopefully the bees will enjoy it as much as I do.
You talking about the sunflower?
Yeah. The multi-head ones that have like, instead of the one tall one is short and got like 10 different sunflower heads on it.
Oh, yeah. Kathy got the tall ones. Good, my goodness.
I'm about to go.
I want to get some tall ones.
I'm about to go trim all my stuff down today.
I got so
Yeah, I'm gonna cut some stuff back too. So, the the heat has really devastated
Yes.
it, and then with the heat comes the insects.
Yes.
Yep.
But
Yep.
like
Yeah,
I
baby.
told y'all the other day, I finally broke down and sprayed some liquid 7 out there, and it was just the right amount because the bees and the lizards are still doing good, but all the other little buggies are gone.
Good. Yeah, the heat's been so bad. Some of the flowering plants that I have planted right there that are used as pollinators,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, they're wilting bad. And I water every day.
Kathy planted 2 dogwoods. One is great. The other one is just got eat up with fungus.
Oh, no.
I guess that's the heat. I'm not knowledgeable about the plants and the vegetables y'all grow.
Hey, well,
I got you.
But-
I think I may have overwatered some of mine out there with the heat, trying to keep them moist, and I may have went a little too far.
Several of us had that problem, according to my water bill.
Well, I've got one of those little moisture meters that you stab in the ground that tells you if it's wet or dry, and I kind of kept them in the middle through the heat wave, and I think I may have rotted some of the roots out on some of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the woes of the gardener.
It is. Yeah.
Like balancing a ball on a pencil.
Huh. Okay.
So is it because the break in the weather? Is that why, Steve? You're going to plant new cucumbers?
Well, it's supposed to cool off a little bit, but the cucumbers that are doing poorly are not underneath the shade cloth. And when I plant these, I'm gonna make sure they're underneath the shade. So
You know,
help out a little bit there.
my garden was so vibrant and doing so well, and then this heat hit. And then when I've listened to Steve talk about how it's hit his garden, I didn't feel bad because I thought if it's hit Steve's garden and he's having those issues, then I know it's not my green thumb because he's the ultimate gardener.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's pretty. And normally it does really well, but this year it struggled for sure. Everything in it struggled. So, and I was a little lazy in the spring. I didn't do all the things I normally do to amend the soil. So that also may have been a factor in it as well.
Yeah, I counted on a lot of last year's soil, and I usually add about 6 inches to my beds each year. And I did not do that this year. I was stupid, but I'm paying for it now. But I'm going to go ahead and replant because we got plenty of weather for a second growing season coming up for certain things. I do have one cantaloupe in progress. It's growing. One cantaloupe. It's about 6 inches. And right now, my plants have one eggplant growing. And
my green peppers are starting to.
I don't have any green peppers. I've had 2.
Mine just
banana
started
peppers,
blooming,
but that's
Rayford.
it.
They just started doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe mine have something to. I guess I'm.
This is a weird year. Yeah.
It is. It is really weird. Good gracious, my tomatoes have not done well. Nothing's done well.
My roses have.
Can't eat them.
I was going to say, I grew eggplant this year because I got an Italian guy that wanted them for eggplant parmesan. I've never really even eaten eggplant before, but I like the purple flowers. I think it's a pretty plant.
It is.
4 of them in a planter, man, and they're about 4 foot tall, and they're hanging full of eggplants. But all of them are only about 6 inches long and like a little bit bigger than your fist.
Okay, so you got the long, skinny ones then, Tom. Right? Is that what you got? Like
I was going to say I grew one last year, and it was like about 13 inches long. These are only about 6 or 8 inches long. But when I looked at the little card, it says they can be from 3 to 16 inches long, which is a wide range.
Okay. Well, either going to be 3 miles or 16 miles from wherever we're going. I don't know which. The ones that I've got, I think they're kind of bigger around. They're not like cantaloupe size or anything like that, but they got so many different varieties of eggplant. I think this one's a purple, yada yada yada.
Yeah, that might be the same thing I got, but it's like a short eggplant is what it looks like. But I got 2 off already, and there's probably 6 or 7 more hanging in there right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
but they're doing better than anything else in the garden.
I just think
I don't care if it grows or not.
My wife does eggplant parmesan. She makes that, and she's good.
My watch is telling me to take a walk, not you, Steve. I just think that once his melons start growing, he needs to bring one in here for us to taste test one morning.
I've
Rayford's
got
melon?
No, Steve's.
five watermelons out there right now.
See, he needs to bring one in,
Okay.
and we're going to do a taste
When
test.
the
right
bottom of one of them gets nice and
Yellow,
off colored,
spot,
the yellowy-ish color,
Yeah.
and bring it in, and then I'll let it sit up on the counter for 3 to 4 days before I even cut it.
We're
Hey, I
gonna-
thought about a clause to that, Rayford, is those sugar baby watermelons, they don't get that spot the same way.
Oh, they don't? Okay, well, I
No,
know.
they will get a little bit lighter on the bottom, but it doesn't turn yellow quite the way it does on a big watermelon.
Okay.
Well, Steve, just so you know, this coming Monday, we're going to have a lady from the Master Gardening Club
Uh-huh.
that's going to be here in the studio. So
Awesome.
listen up.
Awesome. Cool.
I was
Hey,
curious.
on a different note, I wanted to say something you were talking about earlier, Chris, and I didn't quite catch everything you said. I just kind of was in and out on it as I was running around town. But talking about why people get caught up on color, skin color.
Yeah.
And there's something I always think about. My dad told me, and I'd like to share it with y'all. He said that when you stand before God, you will have no color. You will not be male or female.
Yep.
The only thing you can take with you is your character.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
And that's always ring in my head every time I think about that. And he was born in 1924. He grew up in the during the civil rights movements, during Jim Crow days, and all that stuff. And he always taught me that it's a person's character is the only thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually told me, he said that I was more likely to be conned by a white man than I was a man of any other color. And he said the reason
I can
why is
attest to
because,
that.
and he said the reason why is because I would trust them when I shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so be weary of that. He said, those are, he said, everybody's suspicious of other people of other colors naturally. He said, but the con man's going to be the one that looks just like you. So, that was two things he taught me, and it's rang pretty true throughout my life.
Did you guys ever watch
Wise
MASH?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I know where you're going.
You've seen the movie,
I
the show,
know it.
haven't you?
I've seen the
That-
show, and I know
that
which
one-
episode you're talking about.
Okay, Steve, you watched MASH, I'm assuming, at some point in time.
Oh, yeah.
But there was one
Yeah.
episode where there was obviously a very racist
Mhm.
white boy who'd been shot, and he had to,
Right.
and he
I remember that episode you're talking about.
he had to go under surgery, and he was adamant. He said, "I don't." And they had other folks in there. He said, "Now we're going to probably need to do a transfusion." He said, "I don't care what you give me. Do not give me any black blood. I don't want any blood from a black person.
The right color blood. Give me.
You give me the right color blood." And anyway, so he went under the procedure, and so it was one guy there that he could get the blood from. It happened to be African American, and so they gave him that. And then while he was under, they got some blackface and some other material, and they made him look all black when he woke up. That's what he looked at his arms and everything else, and he said, "Oh my God!" He said, "We didn't have any choice. We had to save your life."
And they brought him for to eat. They stereotyped it. They
Yep.
fried chicken and,
Yeah.
and watermelon. But
Holy
but wait. But their point to the story. The point to their story was in
Right.
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor, an African American doctor, died because they would not give him blood.
That's just sad.
And that part of the story was
sad. It makes me
true.
angry.
That part of the story was true.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
angry.
I was going to say, on TV, that was a funny episode. In real life, people who think that way is not funny.
No, it's
Yeah, well,
not.
I
the
agree,
thing about
Steve.
that story probably had more importance to me when I looked at it. I said, "Good God, this is where we are, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
This is where we are." And this was back in the 60s, I guess, or 70s.
70s.
And of course, it was the show episode was detailed around the Korean War. So, it's like, wow, did people really feel that way? And then I started thinking about it and looking around. There are people today that feel that way.
Yeah.
That is not where we are. Then we get this story out of Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm like, good God.
Steve, you said it was your grandfather? I'm sorry.
His dad.
My dad.
Your dad. Your dad was a very wise man.
Uh-huh.
And that's I think that's part of the problem is the way we're raised, and that's how we carry on with our life, and that's how I hope pass it on to our children and their children's children, if we're blessed to have them, is the right way to think.
Yep.
And I think, Steve, what you said is true. When we do, if we're fortunate to make it to the pearly gates, we're not going to be any color.
Nope.
We're not going to be any race.
Nope.
You're not going to be a gender. You're not going to be
No.
male or female.
Nope.
All that's worldly things that you'll leave behind.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, he told me, he said the only thing you take with you is your character, and
Very
you know,
true.
that's what you stand on. You know, so wherever you may go.
And I think personally, if we as a society, and we count so much on media and all this electronic media and stuff, would get away from it and not cover so much of it, we might be getting back to a better place in my world.
I wonder sometimes if that is the beast. If us being so connected and the internet is actually the beast that will consume us eventually. You know, but
Good
that's
point.
you know, a little deep, but
No, it's not. To be honest with you, back in the day when I was with the cable company and they brought me pagers and a computer and all this stuff, I didn't want it. I did not want it. I didn't think it was evil. I just didn't want it. I'm old fashioned. Give me a piece of legal pad and a pencil, and I'm ready to go to work. Yeah. But I think you're right. When you pull up anything on a computer and you start Googling things and you start seeing all the negative stuff and
Yes.
the positive stories, I go back to this, and I'll leave it alone maybe for today. All the news opens up with bad stories, even local news. It's all bad stories. And then they wait till the end of the newscast to give you a feel-good story. And it's a nice way to end it, but why can't you begin it with something nice?
when I look at the internet,
Good luck.
like it can be anything anybody wants it to be. It can be, you know, good. It can be a good source for, you know, looking things up if you're, you know, wise in how you look things up. But it can also build the communities of all the bad things that humanity represents. Yeah, it gives a platform to everything, the good and the bad. And that's one of the things that, you know, I think not just me, but everybody worries about. You know?
You're right.
But on the last note, before I get out, I'd like to say something about our president. Yeah, I've already told y'all I did not think that he's a pedophile. You know, and I don't, because I haven't really seen anything to make me believe that necessarily. I don't believe in guilt through association. I believe in questioning because of association, but not necessarily guilt through association. But the only thing that's challenged my view of that in the last few days is the way they're acting. You know, they're acting guilty as sin.
Oh, you mean the people that are so-called named or perhaps named or whatever?
Well, the administration and the way they're handling this whole situation, they couldn't make themselves look more guilty than what they're doing. It once again, it just don't make much sense. Everybody knew his name's in there. Everybody knew he was on the flight log. What have they seen that has made them react this way? You know, it puzzles me to no end. But that's kind of where I'm at on that. Is I still want to believe that he's not involved, but his actions sure make me suspicious. You know, I don't know that we'll ever find out, but it was.
We will find out. It will come out one way or the other, sooner or later.
One day.
We're still trying to probe JFK and Martin King Jr. files.
I don't know why you're trying to do that. JFK was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right, and I mean, but obviously they can withhold information from us for a very long time across multiple administrations. But like I say, you know, when they said there was nothing there and it was pretty much over. But then Congress subpoenaed Maxwell, and they immediately had to run go talk to her before Congress did. That really set off a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Why didn't they talk to her already? What was the urgency in talking to her once she was subpoenaed by Congress? All that's very suspicious. So
all I can predict is she's getting out early.
You think?
Yeah.
Most people.
I
do
think
get
Trump's
out
going to
early.
pardon her, guys.
Yep.
I mean, if I had to lay a bet, I'd say he's going to pardon her. And
No.
if I'm
I
wrong,
think her sentence will be cut.
He will
back.
be dead if he
Commuted.
does. He will be dead. I mean,
Well-
his future is. I mean, he wants
what political
he's
future does he have?
not political. His legacy will be
Well, that's
done.
something I really think he's as concerned about as you would hope. But
But,
anyway,
well, yeah.
that's opinion on my part,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, all
But,
right, Steve. You
all right, guys.
take care.
Have a blessed day, Steve.
I just want to
Thanks for
say real
calling.
quick that one of our listeners did bring up the Archie Bunker All in the Family episode where Archie had to get a blood transfusion.
Yeah, I forgot
And it
about
was
that.
the black Jamaican female doctor that gave him the blood. They said it was really a funny episode.
It was
I
very
remember
funny.
that one too.
Yes.
It was very funny.
A 19-year-old airman killed in a Humvee rollover during a 2023 convoy headed back to Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming was not wearing a seatbelt, and the driver was going over the recommended speed. Humvees have come under a lot of grief and all sorts of stuff, and the guy who was killed is from Oregon. Had been assigned to the Warren base just shy of 4 months. Was riding as a passenger in the second vehicle of the two-vehicle convoy. You have a convoy of two vehicles, but whatever. After working security for maintainers at a missile facility, yada, 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 in Colorado. 45 miles per hour, the speed is what they were doing.
Wow.
Down an unpaved road, the driver of the Humvee lost control and the vehicle began sliding off the road and turning, ultimately causing the Humvee to flip into a ditch, killing the young airman. Driver treated for minor injuries. Both front doors opened up during the rollover. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt. He was ejected, sustained fatal injuries. I'm not sure how you blame a whole lot of stuff that occurs on the instruments involved. Is the Humvee a safe vehicle? There's, military Jeeps in the day were not safe vehicles. They rolled over on a regular basis.
Yep.
People turning hard to the left. I watched one roll over at Holly Ridge at the intersection, the only intersection with a traffic light. I was coming, was headed south and headed north, and right in front of me, the guy turned hard, and the kid was in it. Neither one of them had seatbelts on in those days, and they were both thrown out. Neither one was hurt. But I don't know, and he was driving a surplus military Jeep. I don't know at what point in time you blame the instruments that you're there with when you violate the safety and the recommendations for those vehicles or instruments that you're using. When do we take personal responsibility for some of this stuff?
I think when he was going way over speed limit.
And the other guy was not wearing a seatbelt. Now, the one guy, they crashed, but the passenger wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Either the driver was and was secured, or he held onto the steering wheel and was not thrown out. But the other guy was thrown out, and that's when a lot of people die. So when they're thrown out, when they
Ejections.
when they get ejected from a moving vehicle that's wrecking, your chances of dying have greatly increased.
Yep.
When do we
That's
take
sad.
personal responsibility? When do we blame the system? What are we going to do? But
I think, if I'm
What
not
we gonna
mistaken,
do?
the driver is responsible to make sure that everybody's in a car. I'm talking about a car.
anywhere. The driver's in charge. The captain of the boat's in charge.
Make sure that everybody has
Yeah.
safety.
That's right.
Right.
So
So But in a Humvee, I don't know.
Yeah, same thing.
I was just watching what little bit of the video they were showing from that watercraft collision yesterday, and I don't know.
We'll try to take another look at that today. And see
Yes, take
if I
a
can
look
get
at that,
more.
Rayford. I
looked at it a couple of times, and I just couldn't look at it
can't
anymore.
determine who was actually at fault. Can't determine. And it looked like the barge was being propelled on its own. I didn't see a tugboat.
There was no tugboat.
Yeah, it was
So
being
it was
propelled on its own.
it was a large self-propelled barge.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay.
And the sailboat was kind of a small sailboat.
It was. It looked small. Yes.
Yeah. I expected a bigger one, and they both just like this. Boom. So tragic.
You say a smaller one, 20 foot, 25
I would
foot?
Probably
say-
less than 25.
I would say probably, yes.
No bigger than 25 anyway.
Looked like it may have had a cabin or two. But,
Yeah.
it was small, very small.
Okay. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Who do we have? We got Dr.
We got
Rosemary
Dr.
Stein.
Rose
Anybody else tomorrow?
Not as of yet.
Our
but,
listeners.
the week is looking up. We moved Mayor of Swansboro to Friday, so he's definite. And of course, Thursday we have our famous sports editor with the Daily News, our friend
That
Chris.
sort of narrows it down, doesn't it?
Yes,
Famous
yeah, kind of
sports
narrows it
editor,
down.
Daily News. I bet I know who it is. Good clues, girl. Good clues. Have a great rest of your day. Stay cool.
Yes.
It is going to be hot. It's going to be scorching. I did see a little bit of wind blowing today that I did not see yesterday at this time. There's an increasing chance of stuff falling from the sky. None of it will be snow. So
Yeah, that's next week.
yeah. But anyway, just be prepared.
Yeah.
And
Drive careful when you're out there in it.
and don't let the stuff in New York dictate every move that you make, or you things are going to happen that are going to be out of our control.
That's right.
You can't guarantee that a helicopter that crashed in 1970-ish
In the grocery
in
store.
the grocery store,
Big
the
over.
A&P store, it was at
A&P.
the time, in
Northwoods.
Northwoods.
Near Elizabeth Lake.
We don't look at those things and say, okay, well, we've got to watch out for helicopters here.
You can't live your life holed up into your house and never going out,
No.
because if it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
Plainly
and,
said.
And like they used to
It
have
is
in the
what
old
it
days
is.
of hot water heaters, some of those would explode in your house.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. Everyone
Okay.
have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Rayford.
Have a good one.
Have a blessed day.
We'll see you in the morning. You're live and local. Real Talk.